Welcome back, fellas. Today, I'm going to say something that might just change the way you look at relationships forever. We've all been there, stuck in a situation where we're giving our time, energy, and emotion to someone who doesn't value us. But what if I told you that there are 5 things a woman might say that should make you walk away immediately? I'm not talking about small disagreements or petty arguments. These are red flags so big they could block out the sun. So if you're tired of wasting your time in toxic relationships, stick around, because this video could save you from years of heartache. Alright, now let's dive into the key red flags you need to watch out for. These aren't just small disagreements or minor misunderstandings. These are the types of warning signs that scream, get out before it's too late. Too often, men ignore these signals, thinking things like, maybe she didn't mean it that way, or I can change her mind. But the truth is, if a woman says these things, it's not by accident. They reveal a lot about how she views relationships and, more importantly, how she sees you. In modern dating, there's a huge mistake that too many men make, investing their time, energy, and emotions into someone who doesn't respect them. And let me tell you, waking up one day and realizing you've wasted months or even years in a relationship that wasn't right for you, that's a wake-up call you don't want to ignore. So let's break down these key phrases. If a woman says these things, it's time to seriously reconsider your involvement with her. 1. We don't need to define this. When a woman says, we don't need to define this, it's often a red flag that you're not a priority, you're just an option. What she's really saying is that she wants to keep things casual and avoid any commitment, while still benefiting from the attention and affection you provide. This phrase is a way for her to maintain her freedom and keep her options open. If she's avoiding defining the relationship, it means she's not ready to fully invest in you or the future of the relationship. Instead of having the hard conversation about where things are going, she's keeping you in a limbo. You might think she's just taking things slow, but months can go by without any real clarity. The longer you stay, the more emotionally invested you become, while she's able to leave whenever she feels like it, knowing she's not tied down. This situation often leads to frustration and confusion, leaving you questioning why things never progress. Think of it like a job interview. Would you ever accept a job where your role, responsibilities, and benefits aren't defined? Of course not. In a relationship, you deserve to know where you stand. If a woman refuses to define things and keeps you in a gray area, it's time to step back. Make it clear that you're looking for something real. If she values you, she'll want to make it official. If not, she was never serious in the first place. Don't waste your time on someone who doesn't want to define what's important. Walk away and find someone who's ready to build something meaningful with you. 2. Take me as I am. When a woman says, take me as I am, it may sound like confidence or self-acceptance, but in reality, it's often a way to avoid accountability and responsibility. This phrase is a red flag because it suggests she's not interested in improving herself or working on the relationship. What she's really saying is, I won't change, and you should just accept me as I am. While it's important for both people in a relationship to embrace imperfections, it's equally crucial to be open to growth and change. Relationships are about evolution and compromise. If she's unwilling to acknowledge her flaws or work on them, you're setting yourself up for frustration and emotional exhaustion. Imagine this scenario. You're always punctual for your dates, but she constantly shows up late, sometimes for 20 minutes, sometimes even an hour. When you bring up how it makes you feel disrespected, her response is, that's just how I am. You should accept it. Instead of understanding your feelings and making an effort to improve, she expects you to put up a behavior that clearly bothers you. This is a clear sign of emotional selfishness. In such relationships, you always find yourself bending to her needs while she makes no effort to meet you halfway. A healthy relationship requires both partners to try, to compromise, and to put effort into making each other better. If she refuses to acknowledge a behavior and makes excuses for it, you're the one doing all the adjusting while she continues on with her ways. A strong partner, on the other hand, will recognize that no one is perfect. They'll acknowledge their flaws and be willing to work on them just as you should. Relationships are built on mutual respect, effort, and growth. If she's not willing to improve herself, it's time to walk away. Don't settle for a relationship where you're expected to accept bad behavior without any effort to change. You deserve someone who is willing to grow with you, not someone who is stagnant and unwilling to put in the work. 3. You're lucky to have me. When a woman says, "You're lucky to have me," it might initially come across as a display of confidence, but in reality, it's a sign of entitlement and imbalance in the relationship. What she's really implying is that she sees herself as a prize, and you should feel grateful just to be with her. While confidence can be attractive, this mindset crosses a line into arrogance and a lack of respect. A healthy relationship is built on mutual appreciation, where both partners value and support each other equally. It's not about one person feeling superior to the other. If she constantly reminds you that you're lucky to have her, without showing any genuine gratitude or appreciation for you, that's a serious issue. Over time, this dynamic can create an unhealthy imbalance where you feel as though you're constantly proving your worth, while she takes you for granted. Think about how this plays out in real life. During arguments or disagreements, how do you think she'll react? If she believes she's the one doing you a favor by being with you, chances are she won't feel the need to listen to your concerns or needs. She might dismiss your feelings or make you feel like you're not as important, because in her mind, she's already doing you a favor just by being in the relationship. This type of mindset can lead to you constantly bending over backward, doing whatever it takes to keep her happy, while never feeling fully appreciated or respected. No matter what you do, it will never be enough, because she believes you should always be grateful for her presence in your life. In a truly healthy relationship, both partners should feel equally valued. A strong woman doesn't need to remind you that you're lucky to have her. Her actions speak for themselves. If you find yourself in a relationship where you're constantly feeling like you have to prove your worth, it's time to step back and reassess. You deserve someone who sees you as an equal, not someone who makes you feel like you're lucky just to be with them. 4. All my exes are the problem. When a woman says, "All my exes were the problem," it might sound like she's simply venting about past relationships, but this phrase is a major red flag. She's essentially telling you that she's never the issue and that all of her past relationships failed because of her exes. While it's true that not every breakup is mutual, if she's constantly blaming every ex for the problems in a relationship, it means she's refusing to take any responsibility for her actions or choices. This is a sign of emotional immaturity and a lack of self-awareness. Relationships take two people, and they are rarely one-sided. If she's unable or unwilling to reflect on her own role in past conflicts, it suggests that she hasn't learned from her mistakes and could very well repeat them with you. It's easy to blame others, but real growth comes from owning your mistakes and understanding how your actions contribute to the dynamics of a relationship. Let's say she tells you that all of her exes were liars, cheaters, or crazy. While some exes might be problematic, if she never acknowledges what went wrong on her end, that's a serious issue. It means she's either choosing to ignore her own behavior, or she simply doesn't care to grow or improve. Think about what happens next. If you stick around, you might soon find yourself labeled as a problem when things don't go well. She'll continue blaming you, just like she blamed every other man before you. This creates a toxic cycle where she can never take responsibility for her actions, and you end up taking all the blame. You need someone who can own their past, learn from it, and work on themselves. A woman who can say, "I made mistakes, but I've learned from them," shows maturity and readiness for a healthy relationship. If she refuses to take responsibility for anything, she's likely to keep repeating the same patterns. It's time to walk away and find someone who is willing to grow, just like you are. 5. If you loved me, you would. This is one of the most dangerous phrases a woman can say in a relationship. If you loved me, you would is a clear example of emotional manipulation. At first glance, it might seem like she's simply expressing a need or desire. However, when love is tied to a condition like this, it becomes a power play. What she's really doing is using your love as a tool to control your actions, pushing you to do things that may not align with your values or desires. The danger here is that this tactic starts small but can quickly escalate. At first, she might ask you to cancel plans with friends to stay with her, or to stop seeing certain people. "If you loved me, you'd do this for me," she might say, making you feel guilty for even considering saying no. The more you give in to these demands, the more they will grow, and you'll find yourself constantly bending to her will just to avoid the guilt trip that follows. But the problem is, no matter how much you do, it will never be enough. There will always be another test, another demand, another condition. If you don't do exactly what she wants, she'll accuse you of not loving her enough. Over time, this will erode your sense of self and create a relationship dynamic where you're constantly walking on eggshells, trying to prove your worth to her. Real love is about mutual respect, trust, and understanding, not constant tests or ultimatums. A woman who truly loves you won't make you prove your love over and over again by doing things that make you uncomfortable or go against your values. She will respect your boundaries and allow you to be yourself. If you hear this phrase, stop and think. Is she asking for something reasonable, or is she trying to manipulate you into doing what she wants? If it's the latter, don't be afraid to walk away. Love shouldn't come with conditions or constant testing. It should be about mutual respect and care for each other, not manipulation or control. To wrap things up, these 5 phrases are clear signs of an unhealthy relationship where respect is lacking. If you hear any of these from a woman, it's time to step back and seriously reconsider your involvement. A healthy relationship requires mutual respect, care, and effort from both sides. Don't wait until you've invested too much time and energy into a situation that's never going to give you the respect you deserve. If you're dealing with any of these red flags, don't be afraid to walk away before it's too late. Remember, you deserve to be with someone who values you and is willing to put in the effort to build something meaningful. Life is too short to waste it in relationships where you're not appreciated. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and share your experiences with these red flags. Let's talk about how we can all spot these signs earlier and avoid wasting time on the wrong people. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Stay tuned for our next video. And remember, your time and energy are valuable, so don't settle for less than what you deserve. See you in the next one.